And we are recording.
I'm ready.
That's right, you are. Coming from that magical, beautiful forest.
Yeah. I look very white, and I thought if I wore a white shirt, it would make me look less white, but I think it's just reflecting
No.
more glow in the dark
Yeah.
whiteness.
You look
And then
like
I was
a
playing with
tooth.
I was, I was playing with the lighting to see if maybe I could make it better. This is worse. I look
Yeah.
so I don't
And
know.
and standing in front of the most colorful fucking background in the history of the universe while wearing all
Yeah.
white is really gonna emphasize your whiteness there, buddy.
Yeah. What if
Oh
I
god.
let me see. I have this app. It's called Sync. Maybe if I add some red.
Oh god. Now you
No?
just look like something bad's about to happen.
Okay, maybe. How about this?
Like you look like when Snow White is in the forest, right? And then like she's like picking at fucking apples off the trees and it's all good, and then the witch gets close and all of a sudden it gets like dark.
Yeah.
That's exactly what you just did. I think you can just go back to being a shiny tooth. It's okay.
Okay, I'll be a shiny tooth.
At least
Are
it's
are
at
you
least
able to put this through a filter before you upload it?
yes, I'll put it through a mouth filter so then you can just be one of 73 teeth or whatever.
Okay, that sounds good.
How many human teeth we have? You be like, oh shit. And by the way, for those of us watching on YouTube, I'm gonna be drinking my breakfast. So if it looks like I'm CMO on a Thursday night, it's just
What are you
it's
drinking?
just a protein Greek yogurt, brother. Mango flavored.
You don't eat it with a spoon, you drink it?
Well, this one's in a bottle, and it's more like a yogurt drink than like a full yogurt, so it's a little thinner, so it
So
looks much gayer when you drink it.
so it's just like watery yogurt, or it's just like really, really thick, creamy, like milk drink.
What tastes like yogurt, it's like they added a little milk to yogurt, almost like made it like a little smoothie, a yogurt smoothie.
I'm
It
eating
doesn't feel
I'm
watery.
drinking my breakfast too. C4.
Oh, are you hitting the gym after?
No. I just want to feel alive.
I just want to explode, brother.
I was gonna go to the gym, but then I got a new couch and I was moving stuff up and down the stairs, so I feel like I got enough of a workout.
Naturally, when you just pivot, you just gotta have a C4, brother. Yeah.
I already started it, so I was like, well, it's gonna go flat. I might as well drink it.
Yeah, true. Anyways, because we will forget to do this. We're gonna do this and 3, 2, 1.
What are you doing?
Testes in my mouth.
Get on the ground, you fucking pledge!
Ew.
Welcome to the greatest podcast experience of your life. This is the FratChat Podcast.
All young men like 3 things. Food, booze, pussy.
Featuring Carlos Garcia and Chris Moore.
Yeah, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to another edition of the greatest podcast in the history of podcasting time. It's the FratChat Podcast. I'm Carlos Garcia with Chris CMO Moore, wandering in the magical forest.
Hey, babe.
Hey, what's up, dude? What's going on, man? I'm good. How are you?
I am fantastic, and it's funny that you just sounded like a celeb that you've never watched, but you sounded like Carl from Summer House when you said that.
Oh, really?
Because he says
He has a
babe
deep
sometimes.
voice. He has a deep voice like this.
Hey, babe. It's like his intro there. Once he starts talking, he doesn't really sound like that, but like when he says hi to people, sometimes he kind of goes low like that. I think to sound cool.
Did I ever tell you when the guy asked me if I was into role play? Did I ever tell you about that?
Didn't you hit him or something?
Yeah. I smacked him across the face and said, "Call me Admiral." And he was like, "Get out." I was like, "I'm sorry. What?" He's like, "Get out. You can't come over here and slap me."
Is this like a part of the scene?
I thought I was being sexy, but I'm stronger than I look.
Yeah. Yeah, that's why I'm not into role play. And plus, Julie didn't really like my Gollum voices when she got into it. I was like, "Show me your precious." She said, stop that.
You should do that next time you guys are making lovies.
That's what I try. And then I look over and then I saw her friend come in. You ruined it, you fat hobbits.
No. I can't do any impressions. Only impression I can do is like a gay voice.
Well, yeah, you've been doing that one for years. Well, you tried. You tried doing the straight one for years.
That's all I got in me. Well, that's one thing.
I do remember one time. I forget exactly where it was, but you met someone with me, and it was a comedian. May have been an open mic, and you were like doing your bro voice, and that was the first time I really like heard it. And I was like, "Wait, who is this?"
Hey man, what's up?
What's up, bro? It's me, Chris. It's like, hey, what?
man.
Who? What? But you were still wearing overalls and cowboy boots, so it's kind of like,
I think that's when we did.
the People's Mics. Yeah,
Yeah.
Jimmy People.
Was his name Jimmy People?
Jimmy Peoples.
Is that his real name?
He's good Peoples. Jimmy's definitely his real name. I don't know if he made up the last name or if it's really his last name, but it's a great last name for comedy, I have to say.
There's a radio personality and also a comic in Chicago, and I think he changed his last name to be Bottoms.
No.
I think so. I don't think that's his real last name.
And he's actually gay, right?
Which I think is pretty. It's like Tommy Bottoms or something, or.
Richard Bottoms.
My last name is going to change to be Fillet Me.
That can be your second last name or your middle name. That should be your middle name. Chris Fillet Me Moore.
Yeah.
That's a good one. That's a keeper. You can like when you finish up the divorce, you can just add that right into the into the paperwork.
Have you met my
Sneak it
sister?
right in.
Her middle name is Kungalingus.
That's right, Connie Lingus.
Connie Lingus.
She's my favorite sister. So she does this whole thing. Never mind. I'm not going there. Anyways, it is time to hear from you guys because it's time for emails from the listeners. And you got a short and sweet one. Ooh, that's from Kansas City.
I always pick the short and sweet ones. We were
like
talking before the show if there was a Kansas City in Kansas, and there's a Kansas City, Missouri, which is bigger, and there's a Kansas City in Kansas, and there's two separate mayors.
Wow.
Who knew? The more you know. Okay, thank you, Maddie, for this geography lesson. I thought that you had a typo, but you know where you live.
And shout out to the ladies. It honestly makes me feel so much better when a woman writes them. I don't know why, but I don't want this to be a sausage fest of a show here.
We're not Joe Rogan. Ladies, guys. Listen.
That's right.
Yeah, but I think we're feminists.
Yeah, I think so too.
That way.
People see two comedians together. They like to assume, and you know what happens when you assume? You eat some ass with you and me.
And Dan Nemeth, he loves eating butt.
That's right.
Shout out, buddy.
Probably assuming right now.
Nom nom nom. He doesn't need silverware.
That's right.
It's on the buffet this Memorial Day.
Eats it like my breakfast.
Yummy. Drink it. Glug glug glug. Wait. Can you drink it again? But can you rub your belly at the same time? I'm gonna put this on my OnlyFans. I have a coworker that I heard has an OnlyFans.
Oh, that's the Tuesday special.
Tuesday special. I just found out that a coworker of mine has an OnlyFans for her feet. And I was like, I wish my feet looked nice. I should do that.
All right. I can't hate it. People are gonna hate.
I got big feet.
Yeah, no, I don't know if I. I guess there are people who are into guys' feet too, but women's feet is a big market in the country. It's not like if she has especially a fake name, like you're never gonna identify her by her
Correct.
fucking
That's what I
feet.
was thinking. I also thought to myself, like, is it inappropriate for me to connect with her and be like, can you show me the way?
Yeah, like I'm like, damn, dude, I'll fucking do that. That's
Can you imagine?
that's
And
genius.
she'd be like, Chris, did you ask someone to show you their feet videos? Yes, because I'm trying to jump on this bandwagon.
Let me
It
touch your
wasn't
feet.
for my spank bank. I just wanted, a
Yeah.
step in the right
I
direction.
got a fucking wedding to pay for here, dude. Like we
Yeah.
gotta fucking. I've heard compliments of my tootsies before. Meanwhile, Julie has like bird talons down there too. She can grip a coconut with her bare foot.
Oh, nice. My sister and I used to pinch
flies
each
off with
other.
it.
When I was younger, my sister and I used to pinch each other from under the table with our toe and like the
Ew.
like our big toe and the first like index toe.
Ew.
And I would be like, ouch, she pinched me. And then my mom would be like, I can see her hands, Chris, you're being dramatic. I'm like, this bitch is gonna get it. Does that make sense?
Yeah. So you guys have
They were
like
hurt so bad.
crab claw toes.
Yeah.
It's fucking terrifying. Oh my god.
Anyway, what a tangent. Maddie, you're in Kansas City, Kansas. Right.
Yes.
Okay.
She
And
lost
you
all
wrote-
faith in us. She already turned off the show like 5 minutes ago.
Maddie, we are still here. So Maddie wrote, Dear FratChat, I live in Kansas, and my conservative family is starting to regret their vote for Trump. My friends tell me I should give them a break because we all regretted votes in the past. Would you give your conservative family grace if they voted against your rights? Maddie from Kansas City, Kansas. Okay. I've never regretted a vote. I was proud to vote for Trump. I was proud to campaign and vote for
Trump? You tried to vote for Trump?
Wait, what did I say? Oh no, Obama.
You just said you're proud to vote for Trump? I knew it. I knew it. Gates for Trump. That's why he's wearing all white. He's gonna put his hood on after the show.
No, I don't know why I said that. No, I never voted for Trump. No, I was thinking in my mind that like if you triple voted for Trump, if you're a triple Trumper, that you should be jailed. No, I was proud to vote for Obama. Sorry, and I was proud to vote for Bernie Sanders in the primaries and campaign for him. I was proud to vote for Kamala. So,
see, I never voted for him because I couldn't legally vote. But when I was younger, and it was Bush versus Gore, I kind of like Bush a little more. And not gonna lie, it was kind of because he called the reporter a jackass because the reporter was being a jackass, and I was like, you know what, that's different. Like I like that. But then obviously, and I supported him over Kerry too. But then obviously we saw how that turned out. So if I would have been able to vote, but I was too young and I wasn't a citizen. I could vote. My first election that I could vote was the first one, Hillary versus Trump, and I voted for her, and he won. So I don't regret my vote. I think we'd be better off if that fucker never got to power. And then it was great to get him out of office. And I voted against him, voting for Joe. I miss Joe every day. I thought he was great. If we were stuck with him, we probably would have been fine.
I think that Joe Biden did a lot of good for our economy. So I think that,
and the country infrastructure as a whole, like, and not just, he focused also mostly on red states, which is crazy. Everybody told him like he was insane, and didn't appreciate it at all, of course. But he gave like all the states that hate him the most, like awesome roads and all these great projects that even the Republicans that voted against to try to like take credit away from him were then like touting it and trying to lie and be like, yeah, we supported this from day one.
well,
but yeah, he literally said everybody needs roads and these states are disproportionately need this more than the other states. So I'm going to give it to them. Meanwhile, you see Trump with his aid.
Yeah, well, some states refused to receive the money, and then they could have used it when there was like flooding and like scary things in Texas. Remember that?
That's what they get, idiots.
So I think that, Maddie, I'm assuming you're referring to women's rights, because I think that, I'm not sure how conservative Kansas is, but like a lot of states, you don't have access to like life-saving, like female care. You know what I mean? So I'm
Correct.
assuming that. But if she's also queer, then that's a whole nother layer, because
Yeah.
the Trump hasn't been very nice to the queer community. He thinks queers embrace him, but no, we don't. We're not a fan. Um, I think that if you can smile in my face and then go vote against my rights 3 times, I don't have any love in my heart for you.
Yeah.
You made it very clear that you can sacrifice my rights to save a few $1,000s in taxes. You're a shit person. And
Yeah.
so I think, Maddie, fuck your family and move to New York.
See, my thing is, the first time you voted for him, I'll give you a pass. Just because, even though I thought he was a moron, people were like, he's different. He says the things we're all thinking he is gonna, drain the swamp, whatever. But you saw what he did with his first term, and you saw how he left the country during his first term, and you still voted for him again. At that point, I'm 50-50 with you, because it depends why you voted for him. Even though I'm still hesitant with you, I'll give you a chance. But if you voted for him the third fucking time, 3 strikes, you're out, motherfucker. Like, this third time, literally, they were Nobel Peace Prize or Nobel Prize winners for economics being like, her plan is better. They were literally like Project 2025 that came out in fucking writing that said exactly what he was going to do. And he disavowed it, and everybody believed him. But it was literally, for all the people in his administration, literally put out exactly what he's going to do. Everybody was like, oh, this is shit, to the point that he had to disavow it and say, oh, I have no idea what this is. You see all these things. You see the fact that he promised he would fucking do the awful things that he's doing to immigrants. And then everybody's like, well, I didn't vote for this. Yes, you did, motherfucker. That is the one thing that he was very fucking clear about. And everything else, that he's the biggest goddamn liar in the history of the presidency. Like, as a known fact, like, that man has said more lies in the office of the presidency than any other fucking president in the history of the country. Like, that is an absurd record to have, for Christ's sake. And you still believe him. Sorry, man. And knowing that he needs to get out of jail, and that's why he needed the presidency, all this shit. And if you still support him now, after all this that has come out, after the fact that he promised to release the Epstein files, yet he's doing his best to end all the careers of all the people that are actually pushing for them to be released. He's promised no wars, and here we are, in fucking war after war after war, doing the bidding of another country's president, for God's sakes. It's absolutely insane. If you still support him, dude, how many strikes is that? So sorry, man. 3 strikes, you're out at least. If you voted 3 times, it's very hard for me to like. I'll try, because at this point the cult needs to end, and people need to jump off that ship already and understand. So we do need those people, at least a percentage of them, to fucking wake up. So we do have to welcome them, but it is tough. I understand the difficulty.
I think 2 things. So I have some conservative family members who are in the same boat, and their main 3 things are, like, we wanted the Epstein files released. He promised it, but they were so redacted because his name's all over it. So it's hard to really decipher what's going on in these files. That's one. The second thing is
there's still over 3 million files that haven't been released.
Correct. The second thing is that they wanted cheaper groceries for just better day-to-day lifestyle with spending, you know what I mean? And now everything's more expensive. And then the third thing is, I think, no more wars, but he started a war. And because of that, like, gas prices are astronomical right now.
Everything's more expensive. Everything's absurdly expensive because of gas prices.
They're so fixated on those 3 things as it impacts them directly. Well, not really. I guess Epstein doesn't impact them directly, but those are things that they care about. But it's upsetting that, like, they're not upset about, like, the monkey video aimed to attack the Obamas. And, like, there's a lot, like, he just lacks so much character. So I'm like, I don't want to support someone who does, like, says mean things. And
that's the thing. He appeals to the worst side of them.
The second thing I wanted to say is, I think, and this is controversial, but I think America has a Christian problem. And I say that because when I grew up in the church, we were encouraged to not question anything. So there were some stories I'm like, this doesn't make sense. I think that there are so many devout Christians who are so much, like, even they might even be doctors. They could be
Right.
like medical professionals who will tell you what's going on with your body, and they believe in science to an extent, but then they'll say that the earth is just like a few thousand years old, and they don't believe in evolution. Like, they really believe that these Bible stories are like how the earth was created. Do you know what I mean? So
Right.
I think that when you grow up in an environment where you're told to have faith and it's inappropriate to even consider questioning the writings of Jesus, you know what I mean? Like, I think that what happens is we develop a community of non-thinkers and people who just have been just taught to not think for themselves and not to question the the status quo, and to just like go along with things, and just to be followers. That's what we have like conditioned our Americans to think. You know what I mean? That's
Right.
why I think we have a really bad Christian problem. And people are going to get mad at that I said that, but I'm not saying Christianity is bad. I'm saying that there are some evangelical like churches that are like crazy, and
Yeah.
that is what we
Yeah.
see in these red states. When you go to like a red state in Kansas, probably they're gonna say, "Oh, hi, Carlos. Oh, Carlos, that sounds exotic. Was your daddy in the military?" You know what I mean? Like, it's then they're gonna say, "What church do you go to?" They're
Yeah.
trying to they're gonna size you up. That's
Totally.
the majority of America. No, we're very blessed to live in New York, but like in these like flyover states, like it's a whole different culture there.
Yeah. Well, unfortunately, I think there's a bad Christian problem in the country, not
Yeah.
necessarily a good. Like, a normal Christian is not like that. It's the shitty ones that use it to mislead people with Bible teachings and pick and choose what to use and how to use it, and they twist the words what's said on there, which you see it very often. So, like, I sent Julie a clip recently. This guy who's a badass, who I'm pretty sure he's actually a preacher, so he knows his stuff. And he was debating some conservatives on, like, abortions and things like that. More so like the usage of the Bible to justify things. Is like, in the Bible, it clearly says that abortion, a fetus is viewed as property instead of as a living being. And then the lady the conservative that he was debating was like, where does it say that? Cite it. And he literally cited specifically the course where exactly it is. And she like pulls it up, and she's like, I have it, and this is what it says. And then she reads it, and it says word for word that if you have, let's say, a scenario of a guy who causes harm to a pregnant lady and she loses her baby as a result, that the baby's worth will be compensated, that the fetus's worth will be compensated to the lady in the X amount of the worth of the value of the fetus. So I guess depending on what kind of family they're from, all these things. But if the guy were to cause harm to her as a result as well in the accident, then it would be settled in an eye for an eye, tooth for tooth, ear for ear, life for life situation. So if he breaks her arm, then it's, because you're harming a life, then like they break his arm. If he takes an eye, they take his eye, and vice versa, and all of it on out. And then she just sat there like, boo. So most of the shit that these bad Christians preach is bullshit. So it's unfortunate that they use something that's meant to teach people to be good to each other to make people awful to each other, but that's where we're at. But anyways, I gotta keep this moving.
Remember when I said
On
I
to
voted for
Jordan.
Trump?
Yeah. So this one does not say where they're from, but hello, Jordan.
Maybe Jordan's
he goes,
from
hey,
Jordan.
Frat Chat. I need help because I genuinely don't know how to recover from this. Last weekend, my wife invited her parents over for dinner. Everything was going great until I went to use the downstairs bathroom and discovered the toilet absolutely annihilated. Oh, like clogged beyond belief. Water high, toilet paper everywhere. Looked like someone tried to flush a throw pillow. I immediately assumed it was my wife because she had used the bathroom right before dinner. So naturally, instead of being a mature adult, I decided to spend the entire night roasting her. I kept making jokes like, Jesus Christ, babe, what did you eat? Or should we call the city sewer department? At one point, I even asked if we needed a poop knife. Everyone was laughing except my wife, who looked more annoyed as the night went on. I thought she was just embarrassed. Then after dinner, my father-in-law quickly pulled me aside and said, "Hey man, just so you know, it was actually Carol.
No.
Carol is my mother-in-law."
No. He framed her. He framed his wife.
Apparently, she had clogged it earlier, panicked, couldn't fix it, and hoped nobody would notice. So for roughly 4 hours, I had unknowingly been humiliating a 62-year-old woman about the size of her dump directly to her face. The second I found out, my body went cold. I felt my soul leave my body. I immediately apologized to her, and she said, "Oh, it's okay." But in that terrifying mom, polite voice where you know it's absolutely not okay. Now I can't look her in the eyes. My wife says I need to let it go because apologizing made it worse, but I swear Thanksgiving is going to feel like a hostage negotiation now. How do I recover from this? Do I pretend it never happened? Do I buy her flowers? Do I move to another state and start over under a fake name?
Move and change your name.
Yeah.
I have to say, like, when you're with someone long enough, it might be appropriate to make poop jokes with your significant other, but it's never, ever appropriate to make potty humor near someone's parent. I think that's so inappropriate.
Yeah.
You're never at that level.
I can't see myself doing that in front of Julie's parents. Ever. And I would be like,
you can't fart in front of them either. You're never going to be there.
Well, I sneak in front of them. I'm pretty good about that. I just crop dust them all the time. Whenever they say something that annoys me, I just they're like, "Carlos, why are you making that face?" "I'm okay. I'm just having a stroke." And I just like a fart the whole time.
So they're like, "So Carlos, what do you think about women, men and women's sports?" And you're like, "Give me a second."
Really upsetting situation.
Yeah, no, I would not be making those jokes. But I do think that at this point you shit the bed, buddy.
Yeah.
Some pun intended. So you gotta just at this point just clean up the sheets and move on. You gotta have to try to laugh about it at some point.
No, never bring it up.
Never talk about it again.
Ever again.
Just try to be as normal as you can moving forward. Hopefully you learned a lesson. But yeah, definitely never speak to her about it again. I don't know, man. You're gonna have to like make it up to your wife too. I think that's more important because you were trying to roast her in the worst way possible, and you were roasting her mom the whole time. So that's like a double whammy.
Horrible.
That if you think about, you might end up getting divorced. So you might not have a mother-in-law to deal with anymore. So yeah, I would. I don't know if. Do that thing that you only do once a month to your lady. Maybe do it a couple times a week this week. Yeah.
But I also feel like
take her out to dinner. That's what I meant. I don't know what you're thinking about.
So let me just get this straight. So the parents came over to his house, right?
Yes.
So to be fair,
it's their house, so it's her house too.
Yeah. So Carol just came and clogged the toilet and didn't tell anyone.
Didn't tell anyone. I know she's kind of a bitch, but like.
So I feel like had Jordan, had you not said anything, you could have played the victim, and you could have been like, you know what, to your wife, you could have been like, I think that your parents owe me an apology. How dare you come over here and blow up some shit and leave me with a plumbing bill? You didn't even say anything. You didn't even attempt.
That's right. It's like you literally just shit all over the place and fucking leave. you eat my meatloaf, and after you drop the meatloaf, get out of here.
Hey, remember when my grandma blew up in my bathroom and we had to repaint the walls twice?
So this is kind of like that.
She asked my mom, "Dearie, where'd you get this bath mat?" And then she came out with the bath mat folded in half, and she's like, "I owe you a new bath mat."
Oh no.
She's like, I cleaned it up the best I can. And my mom was like, what? Did you? I had to repaint the bathroom twice.
I cleaned the best I could. There's two fucking giant shit.
It's like she just took her finger and like drew a smiley face like she was finger painting, and she's like, that's all I got in me.
She's writing a cursive, like, how?
Oh my God, speaking of poop, can I tell you that one time, a long time ago, I worked for Sunglass Hut International. So just at the local mall, like Towson Town Center, and some parent took her kid out of the stroller, just let him like roll around on the floor. It's a hardwood floor. And he managed to pull shit out of his diaper and smear it on the floor like he was finger painting.
Oh.
And I noticed that. I was like, I was like, Mom, I need you. And she's like, oh, and she went to get her kid and put him into the stroller. She was going to leave. I was like, no. And I brought out like, I didn't know what to use for hardwood floor. So I just had Windex and paper towels. I was like, clean up after your kid. She's like, excuse me? Excuse you? Clean up after your kid? Like, I'm not clean. My job description does not include like cleaning up after someone else's kid's shit. You kidding me? She was so offended. I can't believe that. She's like, no, yes, you're cleaning it. I'm going to call security. Clean it up. And everyone thought I was the biggest asshole. Am I the asshole?
No.
A parent should be like, do you have any paper towels? Let me clean this up. I'm so sorry. You know?
Yeah. She's like
your wipes, and you just do your best to try to clean up with what you have. And you ask them, hey, do you have any spray? Like, I'm so embarrassed. Let me clean up after my kid.
It's like if your dog shit in the store, you wouldn't fucking just leave it.
Of course.
There's entitled
Parents
people.
are horrible.
But anyways, Mr. Mo, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls,
and everyone in between.
Ages. Yeah, that's right. It is time now for the news. The news karate. They're a little robot. All right. So now that Colbert is gone, we're needed more than ever.
Yeah.
We are the only news that counts now in this country. So, of course, this week, I got a double whammy in the news because America is totally fine. Trust us. The Trump administration took two massive hits and back-to-back stories that make the White House look less like a functioning government and more like a Spirit Airlines flight during turbulence. R.I.P. everybody.
R.I.P.
First up, Kilmar Abrego Garcia, no relation. The Maryland man, again, no relation, who was mistakenly deported to El Salvador by the administration last year. He just had his criminal case against him thrown out by a federal judge. The administration had tried charging him with human smuggling after courts forced him to bring him back to the U.S., but the judge basically said, yeah, this looks insanely retaliatory. The ruling called out what it described as an absolute abuse of prosecutorial power. So
that's a hard word. I wouldn't be able to say that. Prosecutorial?
Prosecutorial power.
Prosecutorial.
You'll never find it now. He described it anyway. The judge called it an abuse of prosecutorial power, saying that the case appeared to be politically motivated after Garcia embarrassed the administration by successfully fighting his wrongful deportation. So after months screaming that this guy was public enemy number one, this case gets tossed. Now everybody's pretending they never cared in the first place, of course. And if that weren't enough chaos, Tulsi Gabbard officially resigned as director of national intelligence this week. Thank fucking God, people.
She hates gay people and her dad. They're like super homophobic twats. And she gives me so much strong lesbian energy. I'm like, girl, be you.
Just be you, baby. It is the kind of thing where it is hard sometimes to feel so good about something, especially in today's world.
Yeah.
Where I feel like things are going wrong left and right. But every once in a while, you hear news like this, where you're just like, there is a God. All right, baby. Woo! See ya, bitch. I hope the door doesn't hit you in the ass on the way out.
I think she's really good friends with Meghan McCain.
Oh, of course. Well, Meghan McCain, you see your ass say goodbye. Goodbye, ho.
Goodbye, ho.
But again, she becomes yet another high-profile exit from an administration that honestly currently feels like a sinking pirate ship where all the rats are fighting over the last life vest. Now, officially, Gabbard says she's stepping down because her husband was diagnosed with cancer. Oh.
A rare form of bone cancer.
Ooh, yes. Which obviously is serious and understandable. But behind the scenes, reports say that she had been clashing hard with the administration over Iran, intelligence policy, and basically the entire war-hawk direction things were going. Because apparently being anti-war in a wartime administration is like being vegan in a Texas barbecue. Everybody's going to start looking at you and ask why you're there. I guess like if you're visiting Missouri. Sources say that Trump world had already been considering replacing her for months, and now she's the 4th cabinet level official to bail recently. So at this point, the administration turnover rate is starting to look like an elevator after CMO farts ended. People be running away. They out of here.
People are like, Jesus Christ! How are you alive? Something's dead inside of you.
Not anymore. I just got it out. Oh shit!
Is it a fart or is that gerbil I sat on just
That's
whispering?
Right.
Hello.
Oh yeah, but I'm so happy that she's gone. Now it's funny. She's one that for a long time there were rumors that she was like a Russian asset, and I'm not gonna lie, it probably doesn't make Putin very happy that this Iran war is going on, because they kind of had, a big iron fist over oil on Europe right now, but now oil prices are escalating everywhere, which means less demand worldwide. As people are trying to figure out their shit. So I'm sure that's not helping his situation. So I don't know. This is interesting. Very interesting development. But again, not to see her
She
go.
writes a book.
Yeah, they all do. They all find a spine once they're out of the administration. So, but we'll see what she says.
I bet you she signed some NDAs.
I'm sure. But
I want to talk to her and be like, Tulsi, twat, I can't hear you, you lesbian. No. I'm gonna say, Tulsi, how many NDAs did you have to sign when you left? And how scared are you for your own safety?
Totally. And I honestly, maybe I'm just a little bit distrustful of these people, but I do think they know the writing's on the wall, and these big positions where people can go to jail, that I feel like it's going to be big hot potatoes for those kind of jobs, because no one's going to be the last one holding that bag when the next administration comes in and starts investigating shit and all the corruption and all the horrible shit that this admin's doing. And midterms are not that far away, people. So make sure you mobilize and vote, because this is how we start getting some accountability in this shit. But anywho, it is time for another edition of
Drag Queens.
Because the segment where every week conservatives scream that LGBTQ people are secretly grooming children, and then somehow it's always another church guy getting hauled away in handcuffs.
Yeah.
So we got a good one for you, because this week's contestant, Alan Chambers, former president of Exodus International, one of the biggest pray the gay away ministries in America, One of those groups that spent years telling people that homosexuality could be cured through prayer, counseling, and enough emotional trauma to fund 3 therapist beach houses. Apparently, the only thing getting cured here was his freedom because Chambers was arrested in, shocker, Florida, after investigators say that he spent months messaging who he thought was a 14-year-old boy in an undercover sex sting. According to police, he allegedly sent explicit messages, nude photos, and tried arranging a meetup for sex before finding out that the teenager was actually a detective. Authorities charge him. Yeah, boom, baby. Sucks to suck, buddy. He was like, well, at least are you a young detective? Oh, damn it. Authorities charge him with the solicitation of a minor, transmitting harmful material to a minor, and unlawful use of electronic communication. And once again, shocking absolutely nobody, the man who built a career policing everyone else's sexuality allegedly turns out to be hiding some deeply disturbing behavior of his own. And listen, I know it's not possible to cure, quote unquote, being gay, but you know how they cure being a diddler in prison? Inmate justice, brother. So have fun with your new bunkmates and don't drop the soap, Alan. You
Yeah, they're
bitch.
gonna butt rape him for sure.
Yeah, he's so fucked, literally.
Like, how many times do you have to hear the same story over and over before they're like, the Republican Party's like, okay, guys, like, clean up your act. Like, stop touching kids.
That's like,
Stop
guys,
blaming
us.
the trans community. It's not, the immigrants didn't do this. You guys keep your hands to yourself and stop touching kids.
Yeah, they need to have a group meeting, but it's never going to happen because they're never going to admit that the problem is from within. Because once again, as we say every single week, their call is coming from inside the house.
Yeah.
And, they're not choosing to answer or even check that call ID. They have those old flip phones, so you can't figure out that they're using Grindr. So
isn't this the party of like family values? Isn't that what they say? What fucked up kind of family did you come from that you think this is appropriate behavior?
Yeah.
Oh, good God.
Pretty shitty people. So, again, have fun in jail, Alan. And maybe. And it's funny because if you look at him, see, I don't know. To me, he doesn't look like a drag queen at all. He doesn't look fabulous. He's not throwing sparkles in the air.
No glitter, no sequins, no
Doesn't
fun.
look like he's voguing at all in his mugshot. Nope. I don't think he can do that dance where they like do the thing with the hands and they drop down. Kind of looks like the Jewish dance, but like with the hands. Like the la 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 la. Oh shit, queen!
tens across the board.
Straight to hell. But anywho, not the drag queens. And ladies and gentlemen, it is time to get to it because we got a pretty crazy episode this week. Because Memorial Day weekend, we're recording this as it's going on. This episode will come out the day after Memorial Day weekend, Monday. So I hope y'all enjoyed your boozy weekend. The weather in the East Coast is a little shitty. Not great for the beach, but it is great for some indoor drinking games. So I hope you enjoy. Hopefully didn't get into too many domestic incidents. But if you maybe drank a little bit too much this weekend, maybe overindulged a little bit, you're feeling kind of like a little piece of shit, just know that this episode will make you feel so much better. Because we have here 10 real stories, all super wild, about the wildest Memorial Day weekend stories. This involves everything from natural disasters to fights and crazy drunken episodes that will make you feel like Citizen of the Year after listening to it. So sit back, relax, get yourself a Gatorade or something to nurse that hangover. And it's time for you to make yourself feel sane, thanks to us, with the wildest Memorial Day weekend stories brought to you by the FratChat Podcast. Oh, yeah. So we're going to rock this week. But anyways, why don't you start us off?
Okay, my first one is kind of like, maybe it shouldn't be on the list, but I think I want to commemorate fallen soldier, but also I want to tie it into Memorial Day, not just because of that, but because you ever heard of the Murph challenge, like in CrossFit?
Oh yeah.
So like I've never done it. I don't think I could. So basically like there's this challenge where um you wear like a body armor vest and then you do like a 1 mile run and then it's like
And
it's
then
like
the Stairmaster or
100
something.
pull-ups, then like 200 push-ups, like 300 like squats, and another mile run. But this guy named Michael P. Murphy, I think that he created this like CrossFit style workout called Body Armor. And after he passed away, a lot of CrossFit places will do this on Memorial Day. So Memorial Day is a big fitness day, especially if you're like in the armed forces. And the way you commemorate someone is through the Murph Challenge. So let me explain a little bit who Lieutenant Michael Murphy was and Operation Red Wings. This is a really incredible story. So it's probably one of the most emotional modern Memorial Day stories. So this guy, Lieutenant Michael P. Murphy, was killed in Afghanistan during Operation Red Wings. Murphy knowingly exposed himself to enemy fire to make a distress call for his team, and so he basically sacrificed his life trying to save others. And posthumously, he was awarded the Medal of Honor. I don't think that anyone else got the Medal of Honor since like Vietnam. Like I think they don't like give those out like candy, you know.
Right.
Every Memorial Day weekend, thousands compete in the Murph Challenge workout, which is like in his memory. And I think that his father still attends events honoring him on Long Island, so he's like a local hero. So anyway,
Oh.
I've heard about the Murph Challenge, but I didn't realize that this was a Memorial Day thing. And it's to commemorate a fallen soldier, which I just thought was pretty cool. So yeah, Memorial Day weekend can be like crazy for lots of reasons, but it's also like crazy fit because of Lieutenant Murphy.
Wow. Yeah. And yeah, his story is pretty intense too. What a badass. However, a weird way to report it being that he exposed himself to the enemy because
Maybe.
Hey, look over here. Woo! Why is that man flashing his dong at us?
But I guess
Shoot!
like to me, I know it's not like a wild story like the rest of our stories, but I think that what's wild is
It's
that
not pretty wild.
this
If you're that
workout,
man, it's pretty fucking wild.
yeah, like if this workout is often performed at CrossFit affiliates, but also like military bases, naval ships, as well as members of the public around the world on Memorial Day. So like I think that's like pretty wild to me.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think the workout itself is really wild, to be honest, but like the guy's story is definitely wild. So I think he's a good number 10 here. So take you my side. We're gonna go to Drake's Memorial Day mansion party
Ooh, I
that turned
remember
into a
this.
WWE affair, brother. Because back in 2016, rapper Drake, who actually just came out with a bunch of new music, I hear, decided to throw what should have been one of the most legendary Memorial Day mansion parties imaginable. We're talking Beverly Hills, celebrities everywhere, massive mansion, pool party energy, rich people pretending they don't have security guards watching everyone from the bushes, the whole thing. And somehow, this still turned to a backyard fistfight. According to reports, Drake hosted this massive Memorial Day bash at his Hidden Hills mansions with celebrities, athletes, influencers, and random people who probably told security guards that they were the Kyle. The vibe was supposed to be luxury. Instead, videos started surfacing online showing complete chaos breaking out on the lawn. At one point, a huge fight erupted between multiple guests. You can literally see people shoving each other, screaming, security rushing in, and people scattering around the yard while others stand there recording it on their phones like it's the Roman Coliseum. And the funniest part about rich celebrity fights is no one really ever knows how to fight correctly, It's always like guys in designer jeans like throwing punches with like the violence of a newborn deer, They're like someone there got knocked unconscious wearing a $2,000 shirt by like the lamest uppercut in the history of the universe.
Covered in blood.
Yeah, right.
Dirty, torn up. Horrible.
Reports said the fight started after tensions escalated between guests, though nobody really seemed to know what caused it, which honestly makes it even funnier. Because imagine getting invited to Drake's mansion and ruining your life because someone looked at you weird near like the shrimp cocktail table. And now there's something also hilarious about celebrity parties because no matter how much money is involved, they eventually become exactly like every trashy backyard barbecue in America. You know, celebrities are just like us. So it doesn't matter if it's Drake's mansion or your cousin's above ground pool in Staten Island. You give people some alcohol, some heat, and an ego problem, and eventually everybody's yelling, "Hold me back!" And Memorial Day weekend, it's so true. And Memorial Day weekend is the perfect recipe for disaster because everyone treats it like summer New Year's Eve. People start drinking at noon. Everyone's trying to flex. Nobody wants to look weak in front of girls. And suddenly, someone gets tackled into a hedge. And the videos were amazing too because you could see people trying to keep partying while the fight is happening like 5 feet away. So that's like the true rich person experience. Somewhere nearby, there's a guy getting choked out while another guy is calmly ordering some sushi. And honestly, the biggest shock isn't that the fight broke out. The biggest shock is that it didn't become like a full celebrity boxing card. Because once one fight starts at a rich people party, you know there's at least 6 dudes standing by nearby thinking, I've always wanted to punch an influencer.
Yeah.
And somewhere in the middle of all this chaos, Drake reportedly stayed pretty calm and continued hosting, which probably makes sense. Because if you're Drake, random men fighting at your party is probably just background noise at this point. So the entire story perfectly captures Memorial Day weekend energy. Everyone trying way too hard to have the best night of their lives until somebody ruins it by becoming emotional near the pool. That is my first.
You know what? I love those videos of like Karens, I guess Kevin's, who like get karma takes over.
Oh yeah.
And so, you know, there is something kind of, I don't know, like cathartic to see a whiny, like privileged influencer get their jaw rocked. I know it sounds horrible. I don't want to support violence, but it's just nice to see.
No, it's
like
nice to see people get theirs. Like yesterday, I saw. I was watching this video and I couldn't sleep, and it came on, and it was this like store employee, this short, kind of chubby woman, who pushed this other lady and pushed her hard as fuck, and the lady fell back against like the rack there, and her head could have hit the metal. It was very close to it. If you watch it, like she took a slam.
Was this like in a Walgreens?
Something like that. Walgreens,
I think I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
And then she gets
like
up and she goes, "Oh, you done fucked up now." And then she goes after the girl and grabs her, slams her on the ground. And the whole time she's like, "You told you fucked up." And then starts fucking just wailing on her. And the girl who pushed her first now is like, starts crying. Like, yeah. And then she's like, "Oh, you're going to cry now after you fucking hit me? I told you not to." And eventually people come and separate them. And at first, they assume, because people are the way they are, that is the African-American lady who got pushed first that started striking this other lady because she's crying.
Thank God for cameras, right?
Someone was recording the whole thing, and the person recording the whole thing then said it clearly. No, she hit her first. I have it all on camera. And then people start, treating it differently, and they split up the situation. And I don't think the lady who got pushed first ended up going to jail or anything of the sort. But it feels there's something super special about it. Another Karen I saw recently, she followed these 2 black ladies in a store, and then she was on another side of the aisle to them, and she looked at them and she whispered the N-word at them, and then they literally were like, "Oh yeah," and they fucking came at her, and she was like trying to run away, and they caught her outside the store. And the one, because they didn't even jump her, which they should have. One recorded and the other one beat her ass. And it was like, "You gonna say that word again to me, bitch? Now are you so tough?" And she's like, "I'm so sorry. And it's like, that is how a racist needs to get taught.
Yeah.
Respect.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
I love that it was like that.
I don't like fighting. I think it's the last resort. I think when you have to decide you have to hit someone, things have gone too far, and I hate doing it. But
you know what?
Once in a while,
I've seen some fights in my days at like, growing up in Baltimore, like working at the local mall or even like being in like a TJ Maxx. I've seen some fights where I've stayed after the fact to make sure I could give my statement because I didn't want the white person that caused the situation to reroute the narrative and play victim. You know what I mean?
Totally.
So people like, no, you can go. This doesn't concern you. No, I'm gonna make it my business because I want to make sure that an objective eyewitness can attest what really happened. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Anyways, what you got next, Mr. Mo?
Okay, next up for me. So I just wanted to point out that Memorial Day weekend is to commemorate fallen soldiers. Yet, ironically, it's the deadliest weekend of the year. So, so many people die, and so the biggest casualty event, I think, is like a silent mass casualty event of like car accidents specifically.
Yeah.
So statistically, Memorial Day weekend is consistently one of the deadliest driving weekends in America. There was this like long-term federal crash analysis between 1981 and 2016. That's like what, 35 years, I guess. And so just from Memorial Day weekends over 35 years, there have been 43,000 traffic fatalities.
Wow.
So today, when we're recording, is historically the deadliest day. And the risk of fatal crashes, for some reason, rises sharply when compared to like normal weekends. So I think it's because of the combination of alcohol. There's a lot of long distance travel, so people go out of town. A lot of people like to ride their motorcycles, so a lot of these deaths are because of are involved motorcycles.
Yeah.
I think people are just like tired from like partying too hard or whatnot, and like the highways. This is
the first weekend of the year. This is like the first one. Like 4th of July, you've had some breaks and stuff. So like people have been working pretty much since the Christmas break now. You know what I mean? Like, those were the last set of holidays. Maybe Martin Luther King, if you celebrate that, that's still in January. And then you got till Memorial Day. So people are burnt the fuck out. They're ready to get to that destination place, but that means they're speeding. They're not looking as much as usual. The excitement can be a killer too. And people are bad drivers, man. Like, you have to be so conscious, not so much of the stuff you do, but the people around you, because a lot of these accidents are just caused by some moron and a person doesn't see them. And so you have to be looking at your blind spots, the car next to you, the car in front of you. You have to be so just alert. And there's so many idiots, man. I sound like a boomer, but there really are. There's so many dumbasses on the road just don't fucking know how to drive, and they fuck it up for the rest of us. So you got to be careful, people. Got to be careful.
Yeah. So be careful because this is a recurring nationwide disaster every year. So what's wild about Memorial Day? Traffic violations, DWIs. A lot of deaths behind the wheel. So be careful.
Anyways, on to the next one. This one, we're coming back to Long Branch, New Jersey. Not too far from here, actually. I've been there quite a bit in my summers, where 139 officers were needed to handle one fucking crowd. That's impressive. So, again, this is in Long Branch, New Jersey, where officials basically realized Memorial Day weekend was approaching and collectively said, "Oh no, not again." Long Branch had already experienced major problems from massive teen gatherings and beach chaos leading into Memorial Day weekend. Officials were so concerned about potential violence and destruction that they brought in 139 police officers from multiple agencies just to prepare. So think about how insane it is. Not a terrorist threat, not a presidential visit. This is for teenagers near a beach. I have to say, groups of teenagers can be pretty fucking terrifying. They're crazy. Authorities said that previous gatherings had already led to fights, vandalism, property damage, crowd issues, and businesses getting overwhelmed. Videos showed huge crowds of young people packed into the area with police struggling to maintain order. And honestly, again, there's something so terrifying about a crowd where nobody actually seems to know why the fuck they're there. And they're all just like being crazy and just doing whatever the fuck their hormones tell them to do. It's like having a little voice in your head that tells you to fucking burn shit. And people just keep showing up because other people showed up too. And it becomes human peer pressure at industrial scale. Apparently, businesses were so nervous because crowds had gotten aggressive before and families were avoiding the area, which brings down business. And police departments started coordinating like they were preparing for an invasion from a neighboring country. And you know things are serious when New Jersey cops start calling for backup before the weekend even begins. And that's wild. And what's wild is how these beach towns transform. Like 1 minute, it's moms buying funnel cakes, and then 3 hours later, it looks like a deleted scene from The Purge. And the officials basically admitted social media was fueling everything because random accounts would promote these giant gatherings online. So then thousands of people would arrive, and suddenly local police departments were fucking drowning. And it's honestly the perfect modern disaster. Nobody organizing it, nobody controlling it, just thousands of people collectively making terrible decisions in real time. And the most Jersey thing imaginable is that despite all the chaos, people still kept coming because nothing says Memorial Day tradition like ignoring warnings from law enforcement to go stand in a crowd wearing flip-flops. This is America, baby.
That's wild.
Fucking wild. Fucking wild.
But I think you ever meet someone you're like, oh, they're definitely from Jersey.
Yep.
There's definitely like an edge or like a feistiness to someone from New Jersey. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and New Jersey teens must be insane. Whew. As a New Jersey resident myself for the last now I'm like 13 years, I would be terrified to go hang out at a New Jersey high school for a day. Those teenagers are legitimately, because this is a group of teenagers in a nutshell. You're walking by and the group of teenagers, and they could be just sitting there minding their own fucking business. You're minding your own fucking business. And then one of them will look at their other buddy and be like, hey, I bet you won't throw a rock at that dude walking by. Who won't throw a rock at that dude walking by? Wham! And then just for that, I'm like in a wheelchair now because some idiot dared each other. And that's like, that is literally teens to a T. Like that is how I was as a teenager too. Like it's not,
I'm
not trying to say that we were all like every fucking kid will be like that at some point or another. When they hit those teenage years, they're going to do some asshole shit. It's just what you do. Your hormones are going crazy. You think the world's against you for some reason, even though your mom fucking picked out your clothes that you're wearing for school. For everybody.
Yeah.
It's just what you do. But
anywho, next up, you ever heard of the Valentine's Day Massacre in Chicago? Remember we talked about that with Al Capone?
Totally.
And all? Okay, so also, near Chicago, and this is 90 years ago, 1936, there was what was called the Memorial Day Massacre. Have you heard of that?
No, never. This is cool. You're teaching me some history.
So this is one of the most shocking labor violence events in American history. It occurred during a Memorial Day protest near Chicago. So this, it was steel workers marching during the Little Steel Strike. They were confronted by police. So basically what happened was that police officers opened fire on demonstrators. 10 protesters were killed and like dozens were wounded. And so which should be a day of observing, soldiers who didn't make it. Instead, police officers were just killing protesters.
Wow.
This
was not insane. Nice. And there's a big history of that in America too. Protesters getting murdered.
Horrible.
From the very beginning, the founding of the country. If you go back, there's a lot of history of protesters getting murdered by
Speaking
law
of history,
enforcement.
I could be wrong, but I think that Memorial Day started after the Civil War to commemorate fallen Union soldiers. So I think that this was like a northern thing that people did more. And so I think it was like, I don't know, like 1968 or whatever. It was like the first like almost like formal celebrations. And then I think later on, they changed it to Memorial Day. I think it was called before.
That's crazy. And it's crazy that you bring in the 1936 Memorial Day Massacre, because in 2024, there was the Pride Parade Massacre, people, where CMO blew up a 7-Eleven bathroom after a taquito incident gone wrong. And it's been close ever since then.
Yeah, a lot of fatalities that
go
day.
In there.
A lot of fatalities, but it wasn't like people like technically died. A lot of like their inner children passed.
That's right. That's right. Some people say future generations were annihilated for smelling that. They moved the toilet to Area 51 just to examine.
Correct.
It's with the aliens. Now they all hate SEMO.
What can you do?
What can you do? Anyways, on to the next one. And this one is another, speaking of terrifying teens, this is Teen Beach takeovers. No, Teen Beach takeovers ended with stabbings. If you haven't heard of teen takeovers before, they're basically kind of like the last thing we spoke about, social media organized invasions where huge groups of kids decide to all descend in one location at the exact same time. And now multiple beach communities across the Northeast started experiencing these giant social media organized invasions during Memorial Day weekend. But one incident became especially insane after violence exploded at a Rhode Island beach gathering.
Rhode Island.
Never would have thunk it.
You never hear it, Rhode Island, in the news.
Yeah, no, not at all. So they're welcome to the list, Rhode Island. Maybe we'll be shitting on you profusely. So thousands of teens reportedly flooded the beach area after social media promotion spread online. And almost immediately, the situation deteriorated. Fights started breaking out everywhere. Police struggled to maintain control. Crowds were running through the streets and parking lots. And then things escalated into actual stabbings. Several people were injured during the chaos, and police reportedly dealt with fights erupting across multiple locations at once. Officers trying to control the crowd suddenly had to transition into emergency response mode. And because apparently this story wasn't crazy enough already, one suspect allegedly tried fleeing the scene in a vehicle and wound up hitting a police officer with the car during the escape.
Oh, you're going to jail forever.
Yeah, you're fucked, buddy. That's the part where this stops sounding like a beach gathering and starts sounding like literally a Grand Theft Auto side mission.
Mm-hmm.
I imagine being the cop writing that report. So, what happened? Well, first there were several thousand teenagers fighting. Then there were stabbings. And someone hit me with a car. At some point, even the police dispatcher probably just sighed and said, of course. And the scariest part about these takeover events is how fast they spiral. Like, nobody arrives expecting a riot. They just want to have some fun. But once enough people gather, all it takes is one fight, one rumor, one idiot showing off, or someone bumping into each other the wrong way on the way to the pisser. And suddenly everyone just fucking starts fighting. Everything collapses into chaos. And Memorial Day weekend really is the perfect storm because everyone's already drinking. Tempers are shorter. Beaches are overcrowded. It's hot in some places. And nobody wants to look weak in front of a crowd, especially teenagers. It's basically Coachella for bad decisions. And that's why this made the list. But people start getting stabbed.
If there's any holiday that includes an American flag, like the worst, the white trash comes out of the woodwork and just like they're horrible.
Yeah, the white trash is very stabby for some reason. I've noticed that. Is it because guns are cheap or more expensive? I mean, I don't know. I want to know.
Everyone, people have a lot to say about like Brooklyn or Southside Chicago. People like to say things about that, but let me tell you, I would rather be in Southside Chicago than like on like a dirt road off the beaten path in like a red state.
Oh yeah,
with these like uneducated, inbred MAGA weirdos.
I saw The Deliverance. I don't want to be anywhere near that.
No way.
You kind of look like a hog, boy. Now squeal like a pig, boy. Whee! Yeah, no, not doing that. I'm not playing that shit. Between teenagers and fucking these like back roads, that is like my hell. Personal hell. I am so scared. But yeah, white trash. Why are you so stabby? FratChatPodcast@gmail.com. And if you're not white trash yourself, but maybe had some white trash relatives, shoot us an email, FratChatPodcast@gmail.com. Why are they so stabby? Is it because guns are expensive? Let us know.
Yeah, probably.
I just want to know. I'm curious. Very curious. Anyways, what you got next, Mr. Mo?
Well, next, Memorial Day weekend is also known for like catastrophic like weather events.
Yeah.
It's like I think like 11 years ago or so, 2015 in Houston, they had a really, really bad flooding. Do you remember this?
Yeah, I do.
Some of the residents who just recently recovered from earlier flooding were like hit again. So it was like back to back. So Memorial Day weekend 2015, the flood was so bad that this day is known as like the Memorial Day flood, or that's what they refer to it as.
Yeah.
Not like Tropical Storm Sandy or Bertha or whatever. It's just the Memorial Day flood. So in Houston, there was like massive overnight rainfall that submerged highways and neighborhoods. So thousands had to be rescued. Entire communities were underwater, and there was multiple deaths across Texas and Oklahoma. So this is how they celebrated their Memorial Day. So like we talked about like people getting drunk and fighting, and people get behind the wheel of the car and crash. But then what you don't think about is like Mother Nature is also like in a tizzy. So so Memorial Day, unfortunately, isn't always a day to remember. Like again, fallen soldiers. It's a day that people mourn like these catastrophic events. It's sad.
And
then Biden tried to give Texas money. It was like, hey, like you should like do something and get some structure in place so that you guys can survive the next flood. And they're like, no, better not. And remember, all those kids died of those camps from the flooding. Do you remember that? Was that 2 years ago or so? I forget. It's like boggles my mind. Anyway,
that's crazy, man.
That was my fourth one.
And the sad thing is, it's going to keep happening because weather events are going to become more and more intense as the weather gets more and more unpredictable, and because that is an effect of global warming. And that's why one day it's 73 degrees, the other day is 32, and then it goes up to 93, and then it goes back down to 28. And what people, I've been having this conversation a lot with anybody who will hear me. If what people don't think about is that when the weather is unpredictable like that, you know, when do farmers plant things? Because when you fucking plant, you have to know that I'm going to plant this. Maybe I'll plant these seeds early spring because then it'll start growing over time. This is what the weather is. It usually hangs around 60 to 70 and there's this much sun. When you don't know what the weather, it's going to be rainy one day, and then the next day it's going to be snowy, and then the next day it's going to be 95 degrees and just hot as fuck, and then the next day it's going to be 23. When do you figure out how to plant shit? So how does that food grow? And what the fuck do we get to eat after? So,
you know what?
Or the things that we eat.
Point.
What do they eat?
When I was in Chicago one time, like I think it was like end of April, early May, it was like fairly warm. So I planted a lot of things on my rooftop, and then we went to a Cubs game. I'll never forget. It was May 22nd, maybe May 22nd, and it was like crazy snow. We had a snowstorm, and everything that I planted like froze and died. I was like, what the fuck? Who could predict that it's going to have a snowstorm in May?
Totally.
Holy shit! A week before Memorial Day. That's crazy.
And that's the kind of shit that's going to keep happening. It's just going to get worse and worse. And note that a certain orange Cheeto is making sure to take off all the projected, all like the good things from the environment. He just strips some protections for drilling in formerly protected lands in America. He's just destroying everything. So it's going to get worse is the problem. So hopefully, again, the next admin can't come fast enough, or in the midterms. So somebody fucking put a stop to this shit. But anyway, on to the next one. This one is we're gonna ramp up from stabby to mass shooting because it's not America if we don't have a mass shooting on this list, right?
America.
That's right, America.
Charge.
Well, you learn how to hide under a table to protect yourself from gun shootings because somehow shooters can't shoot under tables. Who knew? Anyways,
You know.
now we move into genuinely horrifying territory because over Memorial Day weekend, what started as a party boat gathering near Little River, South Carolina, of course, turned into absolute nightmare fuel after gunfire erupted, leaving 11 people shot. Now, according to reports, the incident may have started aboard a chartered party boat before spilling into the dock and marina area. Witnesses described complete panic as shots rang out and people started running for cover. So imagine partying on a boat all day, drinking, dancing, celebrating Memorial Day weekend, and suddenly hearing gunshots while trapped near the water. That's fucking terrifying. That is my nightmare. I don't want to be alone in a boat full of drunk people while I'm drunk. Now a gun starts going off. Oh no.
That's like White Lotus.
Yeah. And you're in South Carolina too. So if you jump into that water, you can run into a bull shark or a fucking alligator or a fucking croc or anything like that in seconds. You cannot jump in that water. You are so fucked if you do. So emergency crews flooded the scene while victims were transported to hospitals. Police worked through chaos trying to identify suspects, separate witnesses, and secure the marina. And what makes party boat incidents especially scary is just, again, how confined everything is. Like, you can't escape easily. You're either trapped on a dock, trapped on a boat, or trying not to fall into dark water full of what the fuck, who knows what, while people panic around.
Yeah, South Carolina, alligators could be in there.
Alligators, again, bull sharks, which go into fresh water as well as salt water. You don't know what the fuck. Any body of water in South Carolina or really in the South period can have a fucking alligator. That's what they tell you. Like, it doesn't matter how small it is, even if it's like a little tiny fresh made rain patch that's there, they could fucking have like an alligator. If it can fit them, it can be there. It's terrifying.
No way.
Mm-hmm. So witnesses described people screaming and scrambling for safety while law enforcement rushed in, and some reports suggested tensions may have been building earlier in the night before finally exploding into violence. And again, Memorial Day weekend somehow amplifies everything. There's drinking that starts early in the day, crowds get bigger, ego gets bigger, small arguments suddenly become life-changing disasters. And there's also something surreal about violence happening in places designed specifically for fun, like boats, beaches, boardwalks, pools. Like, they're supposed to be carefree environments, which makes it even more shocking when they turn dangerous. So the saddest part is that a lot of people probably went out that night expecting one of the best weekends of the summer, and instead it became national news. So that is at number 2. When people started shooting, I'm out. I'm never going out again. Fuck this.
I heard this article, a story. Some guy in Texas he bought a gun to protect his family, and then his daughter asked if he had his gun, and he pulled it out to show her and shot her by accident and killed her. And everyone's like, we need more guns. Do we really? I can't think of anything that's whatever.
Idiot. Jesus Christ, dude. That is crazy.
Anywho, okay, my last one is so another catastrophe. This was just 2 years ago. So I don't remember, but 2 years ago there was one of the deadliest Memorial Day weather disasters in recent years. It struck across Texas again, Oklahoma, Arkansas, and Kentucky. This was May of 2024. So there's actually 2 outbreaks of tornadoes. So between May 19th and May 22nd, there was a major tornado outbreak in the central United States that spawned over 80 tornadoes and produced a violent tornado in Greenfield, Iowa, with the 3rd highest tornadic wind speeds recorded. So not just any tornado, the fastest, scariest that the United States has seen in a while. And then there's another outbreak just a few days later. This was May 25th through 27th, the same year. So another major and more deadlier tornado outbreak that produced nearly 100 tornadoes in the southern and southeastern U.S. Several days after the previous one. So at least 21 people were killed. Entire neighborhoods were completely flattened. There was a truck stop in Texas that was destroyed while people were sheltered inside bathrooms. Hundreds of thousands lost power during extreme heat. Like, it's hot here in the summer, but like in Texas, like it's like ungodly. And then your house just produces like a greenhouse effect, you know?
Yeah.
I saw this image from a place called Valley View, Texas. It looked apocalyptic. But yeah, so another thing. So not only do we have crazy storms and rains and floodings, like it's raining this weekend right now. There's been some flooding in New York. Memorial Day. So Memorial Day, we should be out having cookouts, but you can't because there's massive rainstorms, there's tornadoes, there's drunk drivers,
The
there's
weather's not
people
great on
shooting
Memorial Day
people.
weekend anymore.
Like people are shooting each other on boats. Like, this is crazy. It's a crazy weekend. It's a great weekend to stay home.
Yeah, fuck that. And one of the things, I think, because I've dealt with some bad hurricanes, well, in Florida before, where we have some big flooding and stuff. So hurricanes are very scary, especially because water goes up, and that brings rivers or floods things, and who knows what's in the river that can end up in your swimming pool now. So it's quite scary. But tornadoes are another one. Ever since I saw that movie Twister when I was a kid with Helen Hunt, the
She
opening
was so
scene,
hot back then.
yeah, she was kind of a babe. And I remember the opening of the movie is her as like a little girl or something, and this big twister's coming, and they go down to their bunker, but then the door like gets blown up, and the dad tries to close it, but then the twister comes and like that sucks the dad out into the twister as he's like, no, and she's like, ah, and I was like legitimately like that child age while watching this movie, and it fucked me up beyond belief. So yeah, man, tornadoes, they're just something so creepy and scary.
I always think about the cow flying through. I'm like, oh shit.
Yeah, and I like how the cow was just like, man,
Yeah. Hey.
it wasn't even phased. I'm pretty sure it was like still chewing hay. Man.
Yeah.
That was definitely 90s CGI. They just took like a cow just standing there, and then they just like dropped it in, like spinning around. Its tail's like moving around, like clearly the fakest effect. Oh shit, yeah, that movie fucked me up. So we're gonna move on to the number one Wildest Memorial Day weekend story.
This
And
was on my list too, but I took it off. You had it first.
Haha, biatch. And of course, we had to end on not just New Jersey, but the capital of all things wild stories, especially on these weekends, and Seaside Heights, birthplace of the Jersey Shore and the fist pump. So I want to take you back to 2025 when you thought you had seen it all at Seaside Heights, but the Seaside Heights completely imploded. Because you've never been to Seaside Heights during Memorial Day weekend. Let me explain the atmosphere first. Imagine a spring break, a state fair, a nightclub parking lot, and a probation hearing all happen in the same like 4-block radius. And that's Seaside Heights. Pardon me. Ooh, something went down the wrong way. Just like Father Thomas in high school.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Relatable.
So that's Seaside Heights. And every single year, Memorial Day weekend basically becomes the unofficial kickoff to bad decision season at the Jersey Shore. Thousands of people flood the boardwalk. You got college kids, high school kids sneaking alcohol in backpacks, families trying to eat Zeppelis, dudes with tribal tattoos reliving 2009, bachelorette parties, gym bros in tank tops, and random people who heard Jersey Shore and assumed it was going to be a TV show or a movie. So, going into Memorial Day weekend 2025, police already knew things could get ugly.
Yeah.
Like shore towns across New Jersey have been dealing with this growing trend called pop-up parties that we shared, or teen takeovers, where again massive crowds organized on TikTok, Snapchat, and Instagram, and all descend on one location at once. And that's exactly what happened in Seaside. Throughout the day and into the night, huge crowds started pouring onto the boardwalk and surrounding streets. And videos online showed thousands of people packed shoulder to shoulder. Police presence was already heavy because authorities were expecting problems. Like, as we said, 139 cops in Long Branch. That's like not that far from Seaside Heights, maybe like 30 minutes. But the crowds just kept on growing. And here's where things started snowballing. At first, it was the usual Memorial Day nonsense, public drinking, loud arguments, people shoving each other, fireworks getting thrown around, groups screaming at each other on the boardwalk. Basically, Jersey Shore foreplay. But then, isolated fights started breaking out. And then, once one fight happens in a crowd that size, people don't just move away anymore. They run towards it because everyone wants to film it for social media. So instead of one fight...
I also think that their steroids take over too.
Oh, yeah. If you're roiding or boozing and it's hot again, like... Yeah.
I'm a
bros
man.
being near you. Like, let me show you how tough I am. So now instead of one fight, you suddenly have 300 people crowding around, screaming, recording, pushing each other, hyping people up, and making everything worse. So police would break one fight up, and another would just erupt somewhere else in seconds. Then another. And according to reports, things escalated hard once night fell. Which is, get the fuck out. Authorities said multiple stabbings occurred throughout the weekend chaos. One of the most serious incidents involved a teenager being stabbed during a fight near the boardwalk area. Another stabbing reportedly happened during a separate altercation not too far away. And this is the point where the atmosphere completely shifted from rowdy beach town to something is seriously fucking wrong here. Because once word spread throughout the night that people are getting stabbed, panic starts spreading too.
Horrifying.
So now everyone's tense, everyone's paranoid, fights get more aggressive, police gets more aggressive, the crowd stops cooperating, people are drunker too, which doesn't help, and every idiot with alcohol and an ego suddenly thinks they're in an action movie. So videos then started circulating online showing these massive brawls breaking out in the street. People throwing punches and giant mob-style fights while hundreds watched. And police officers were sprinting through crowds trying to respond to multiple incidents happening at once. And one thing people forget about Seaside Heights is the layout actually makes crowd control really difficult because the boardwalk funnels huge crowds of people into narrow spaces, and then side streets get clogged, then everybody's packed together. So once chaos starts, it spreads fast. And at one point, police reportedly recovered a firearm during the chaos, which escalated concerns even further, of course. So we shit on cops here a lot on the show, but think about being an officer there that night. You got to give them credit. You're dealing with people, thousands of people, intoxicated crowds, nonstop fights, social media mobs, stabbings, fireworks, screaming crowds, and now there's a fucking gun involved somewhere in the middle of it all. So authorities ended up making over 70 arrests during the weekend, including more than 20 juveniles. The charges range from disorderly conduct to resisting arrest to assault-related offenses. And according to reports, officers from neighboring towns had to assist because local police were so overwhelmed by the nonstop incidents. Like, there were moments where the boardwalk basically looked like a total societal collapse. There were crowds running, people screaming, sirens everywhere, officers trying to disperse these giant crowds while new fights kept exploding somewhere else. And the most surreal part was that mixed into all this fucking chaos, into all this madness, was still normal tourists just trying to enjoy Memorial Day weekend.
And there's also probably a lot of like teenagers who are doing TikTok style dances in front of all the chaos.
Yeah, like
because it's just good content.
It's like someone's getting stabbed back there, but this is Abracadabra by Lady Gaga.
Exactly.
Imagine trying to win your kid a stuffed animal at a boardwalk game while 30 feet away a riot is breaking out near the pizza stand. And at one point, authorities reportedly shut down parts of the boardwalk because the environment had become too dangerous and too difficult to control safely. So that's when you know when things have gone fucking nuclear. Because Seaside Heights is built for chaos. Like, this town survived the entire Jersey Shore area. Their entire business model revolves around drunk people acting like animals near the fucking ocean. And even they hit their breaking point. And the aftermath was insane too, because local officials started talking about stricter curfews, increased police presence, and new strategies to prevent future pop-up invasions during holiday weekends, which honestly feels impossible because social media has basically turned crowd chaos into flash mobs for idiots. And that's what makes this story the wildest one on the list. It wasn't just one fight. Excuse me. It wasn't just one fight. It wasn't just one crime. It wasn't just one drunken idiot. It was an entire town slowly losing control in real time while thousands of people filmed it like it was just fucking a regular Friday night. So that is the number one. And crazy, this just happened again last year. Fucking wild.
Well, I think it's safe to say that this is a very dangerous weekend.
Yeah, I'm curious to see what happens this year. I'm going to keep an eye on the news. Holy shit, dude. That's fucking wild. So, that was our list. Again, the wildest stories to take place during Memorial Day weekend. Brought to you here by the FratChat Podcast. So let us know what you thought of the list. And also why white trash people are so stabby. Shoot us an email, fratchatpodcast@gmail.com. Let us know of any Memorial Day crazy stories you've heard. Maybe we'll talk about it before we hit emails from the listener. We always want to hear from you guys. And also, again, shoot us emails for emails from the listeners. Shoot us topic ideas. Just say hi if you want to. Whatever you want. Shoot us an email, fratchatpodcast@gmail.com. And also make sure you give us a follow on all social channels. That's at FratChat Podcast. That's on Instagram. That's on Threads. That's on YouTube. Twitter/X. You can also give me a follow. Check out my website, carlosgarciacomedy.com. You can follow me on social media at Carlos Does the World. That's on Instagram. That's on TikTok. That's on YouTube. That's on Threads. That's on the old Facebook. Carlos Does World on Twitter/X. And make sure you follow my good buddy CMO here at chris.moore.comedy on Instagram and TikTok, and Seymour Comedy on Twitter/X. And again, thanks for listening, but don't forget to hit subscribe, leave a 5-star rating, and write a review wherever you're listening. Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon Music, YouTube, or wherever you get your podcasts. Just go ahead and leave us a 5-star review. Tell a friend, or a 5-star rating and a little review. Tell a friend, tell anybody. We can't do this without you. So help some brothers out, brothers. And anyways, that's it from us. So it's time to go.
You like when you go shopping and they play music in the background, like at Macy's? They should play our podcast. I think it would encourage people to shop more.
That's right. And maybe soothing. Less fights at like a Walmart if you have our sweet voices playing in the background. So I'm with you. So, well, with that food for thought, Mr. Mo, it is time for us to go. So won't you please get us out of here?
I motion to adjourn this meeting.
And I second. All right, you guys, we'll be back next week for another edition of the greatest podcast in the history of podcasts and time. It's the FratChat Podcast. I'll see ya.
Is that a moonlight hat?
Yes, it is.
Oh, that's nice.
We'll
Bye.
see ya.